I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the Cadence capsules, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Let's dive in. You can get a couple different combinations of these capsules, but with this version we're looking at the beauty edit. So it comes with I think it's 7 of these ones and then a couple of extensions, things like that. So you can customize whatever kind of pack out, whatever kit you want. They have a couple of different bundles you can do. Whatever works for you. What's nice about these is that they are so customizable. So we're going to take a look at the materials first. So just grabbing this little tiny guy here, all of these are made with a polypropylene and a recycled high density polyethylene, which is basically just a type of thermoplastic. So this one here has a little something in it. So let me just, as you can see, they're magnetic. So with this one here, you can see that it's just got a nice sleek look to it. They attach really nicely. There's a little bit of a seam here that you can see on all of these, and the lids just easily screw off. On the inside, we've got this kind of swoopy interior. There's no hard angles or anything on the inside, which is apart from the lid, obviously. But what makes that nice is that when, for example, I guess let me open up this one over here. I've got some face moisturizer in this one. You can see that it's nice and in here. So what I can do is I can just kind of scoop whatever I need, and then I have quick access to it. And then my finger kind of moves with it. With the lids here on these tiny ones, they attach to the bottom, and that's magnetic. What's nice about the magnetic thing with this is that they snap together really nicely. I'm going to rub some of that lotion in. They snap together really nicely, and because of that, they organize really nicely in a toiletry bag. So with these here, you can kind of customize whichever ones you want to bring. Like for me personally, all I really need to bring is the face moisturizer, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, body moisturizer, and the cleanser. These things here are kind of extra for me that I don't necessarily need. So you can always grab a smaller set of these and then just add on additional tiny ones or whatever. I personally like the tiny ones the best here. So you can see on the side, they tell you how big they are. So this one here is 0.56 fluid ounces. The large is together, this one here is 2.75 ounces, and that's with that extender. And that extender goes on the medium size here, which is 1.32 fluid ounces. So you can kind of combine these however you want to, and they all snap into each other very nicely. With the medium size here, you take that lid off and you can hold it on the side. So what's nice about that is for example, with the shampoo in the shower, you can unscrew that, put it on the side, pour the shampoo into your hand, and then you don't have to worry about where to put the lid or anything like that. However, the design, the way that these are designed for, in terms of features, there's no pump or anything like that or any squeeze bottle. So you do with the shampoo have to pour it out into your hand every time. You have to do the same I have it with the cleanser. And it's not my favorite experience. I don't love pouring things into my hand. I think that these work really well for me personally with the face moisturizer. However, if you like the functionality of this, then they're still really great options. I think they perform really well. It's more of a nitpicky thing that I don't personally love pouring things into my hand when I'm showering or something like that. So it's completely up to you if you like that. If you want to use these extenders here, all you have to do is take off the lid, and then you take this spare extender, and then this screws right on. So you can see here that it didn't screw on. I'm going to bring it up a little closer. It didn't screw on absolutely perfectly. There's still some kind of rougher edges there, and I don't want to make it too tight, so I'll kind of go on the looser side until it perfectly aligns. That's more of an aesthetic thing. I didn't have any issues with any leaking. The shampoo one, the shampoo's pretty liquidy, and I had no issues with it coming through these seams or anything. There is a little bit of blemishing right there, so I think that because of these are a little bit more raw edges, over time they could potentially start to chip away a little bit. But again, haven't had any issues long term so far, and I still really like the look of them. They come in a ton of different colors, and they've just got this little kind of debossed Cadence logo there, which is just nice and sleek. The packability for these things is really one of the largest selling points. So all of these here, it says on their site how many of each size can fit into a quart size bag. I have a quart size 311 bag here, And in this case, like if I brought the shampoo, which I did for a trip over the weekend, I brought the shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash. I also brought my cleanser, the body moisturizer, and then this face moisturizer. And then these ones I didn't actually bring with me at all. I left at home. And I still have a little bit of space left over, which I personally like because there are certain things, even though there is a little serum container, I prefer to bring something like this in its like dropper bottle instead of pouring it into something else. So I've got a little bit of space there. Some like makeup items that I don't want to like pour all of my foundation or something into here, then that's a really good option for that. And then I've still got like a little bit of room left over for some other like makeup items or something like that. The other thing is that, you know, let's say I did want to bring some toner, but this is just a little bit overkill for me. You can like stick your finger in there. You can take out that little toner logo or like the top little label, and you can put it on a smaller container and take that smaller container with you. I guess theoretically you could also just swap the lids, so it doesn't really matter. But what's nice about that is that you can have a bunch of like extra ones of these, and you can sort of like mix and match them to customize to whatever trip you're taking. And then, you know, whatever you're bringing is only exactly what you need, and you have a little bit more like customizability with those sizes, but they still slot together really nicely. The other nice feature is that magnetization. Obviously, you know, you can hold one up and it's not gonna like fall off. It's not perfect. I'm gonna show you the previous version in a second. That magnet's a little bit stronger, but I do really like this. I think it just keeps it nice and organized, and I think they just look really, really nice in a 3-in-1 bag, which is, when it comes to toiletry bottles, aesthetics are not usually something that you think of right out the gate. So I think that that's cool that they pay that much attention to it. If you're finding this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter. So let's take a look at a couple of different things in comparison. We've got the new Cadence capsules here, and then we'll look at these original ones first. So you can see that the size looks a lot like that medium. That little guy rolled away. It looks a lot like the medium, but in terms of capacity, it's actually the same as this small size here. You can see that they both say 0.56 on them. So you can fit the same amount of toiletries in here. With the originals, you couldn't change sizes. There was only this size available. You can see functionally it's the same thing. Like it's a little bit like deeper. I personally like these new ones better. They just feel like you have better access to what's inside. Like with this face moisturizer, I feel like I can more efficiently get it out without just kind of like sticking my finger fully in my moisturizer or something just to get all the way down to the bottom. I like this size in general the best, actually. I think this is great. It's the perfect size. Like comparatively, I'm more likely to stick this inside of like a sling or something to keep it for my everyday versus this. It's just like a little too tall, a little too bulky for me. So I ended up putting this in like my daily bag a lot, which I think is super great for functionality for these guys. The other thing is they are magnetic, the originals too. It's a little bit stronger of a magnet, but I don't really feel like I'm missing anything, honestly. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. These ones too are magnetic on the top, whereas with these capsules, they're magnetic to the side, but they don't attach to each other on the top. So I think that in general, it's a pretty solid upgrade, and especially because you can pick a bunch of different sizes. When it comes to the sizes though, if you, this Go Tube here, this is one of our kind of top recommended toiletry bottles because this one here is the max you can get for TSA compliance, and it's 2.22 ounces, whereas the closest you can get with this large is a 2.7 ounce capacity, so 2.75 versus 3.4, and this is almost 4 ounces in weight, so it's just a little under twice the weight of this Go Tube here. And with the Go Tube, the Go Tube Plus, you also have the functionality of like squeezing something out into your hand, versus with this, like I mentioned, the shampoo, I was always like pouring it into my hand. However, with the packability, I think that these fit way better in a toiletry bag next to each other versus like a bunch of Go Tubes, even though those do come in a bunch of different sizes. So it kind of depends on what functionality works best for you, but the weight is gonna be, I would say, like the biggest selling point or deterrent if you're a lightweight carrier. So there you have it, the Cadence capsules. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.